Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 491 of NoDQ&A Video, right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A Video's affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift regarding Money in the Bank, which is this coming Sunday, live on pay-per-view and on the WWE Network. NoDQ.com has got you covered with the latest news, rumors, and of course, live play-by-play results on Sunday. So with that being said, let's get started here with the first one today from Wrestling God 88. Hi Aaron, what are your thoughts on WWE having a second Money in the Bank ladder match for the briefcase? I'm very happy about it. As I mentioned in previous videos, I personally, as a fan, want to see the traditional Money in the Bank ladder match. It would have just been weird if WWE had a Money in the Bank pay-per-view and not have the traditional match where the winner gets the briefcase and has a full year to cash it in. And, you know, it's a big storyline, and it's something to look forward to, and there's all the intrigue. When is the person going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase? Will he successfully win the title? So, you know, it's a good storyline to do every year, and I'm glad that they're doing that second match, and it's a guaranteed second great match that you'll have on this pay-per-view event. And you'll have a lot of talented people in that match, and they'll be able to go out there and put on a very memorable performance. So, very happy that they're doing it, no doubt. And this one comes from Knowledge Allah. Hey Aaron, now that Seth Rollins is in the second Money in the Bank, is he the odds-on favorite to win? Well, I actually got this question several days ago, but I wanted to wait until the full lineup was announced before I would comment on Seth Rollins being the favorite. And a few people have asked me for my prediction on this match. Obviously, Seth Rollins is the odds-on favorite. He's the guy that has been the focal point of the main storyline in WWE right now. Second top pick would have to be Dean Ambrose, who is now officially in the match. He wasn't initially in the match, but Seth Rollins went backstage to Triple H and asked that Dean Ambrose be put into the match, and Triple H reluctantly went along with it, but said that, you know, it's your problem if you screw up here. So it's an interesting storyline. Dean Ambrose added to the match, which is good, because if he wasn't in the match, I would have assumed that he would be doing a run-in, and that would have just been lame. So I'm glad that Dean Ambrose will, in fact, be in the match, and I'm expecting the Seth Rollins-Dean Ambrose feud to continue past Money in the Bank. So to me, it seems very logical that one of those two guys wins. Those are two guys that WWE is investing with into the future, and you could have Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose at the next pay-per-view for the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I could even see Dean Ambrose winning the match, and then Seth Rollins could win the briefcase from him at the next pay-per-view, or vice versa. So the two of them seem like the obvious choices. As far as some of the other people go, Dolph Ziggler, as much as people would love to see that happen, I think it's a long shot. Jack Swagger, I think, is almost 0% chance of winning Money in the Bank. I think Alberto Del Rio has a better chance of winning the WWE title match than Jack Swagger has of winning the Money in the Bank for the briefcase. And RVD, I mean, he came out there and did that promo. Don't see that happening. Don't see him winning it. And yeah, I think regardless of what happens, it should be a very entertaining match, and those guys are going to go all out and steal the show. And I forgot about Kofi Kingston, another guy who I think the chances of him winning are slim to none. I would say like 0.0001 or something like that. That would be a huge shocker. I think Swagger would be the bigger surprise, but yeah, definitely since Swagger already won, I would say Swagger would shock me the most. All right, this one comes from Kayfabe Candy S. Is Miz versus John Cena the most insignificant WrestleMania main event ever, or can you top that? Well, as bad as that main event was, it was designed to build up towards Rock versus Cena. So, I mean, it did have some kind of value to it. It was basically a preview or a setup for Cena versus Rock the next year of WrestleMania. Really idiotic, but It did serve its purpose, as dumb as it was. I would have to say the most insignificant WrestleMania main event, probably Undertaker versus Sid at WrestleMania 13. That WrestleMania did the lowest buy rate of any WrestleMania in history, and it was greatly overshadowed by Steve Austin versus Bret Hart, which was clearly the real main event of that WrestleMania. Triple H and Randy Orton from WrestleMania 25, really underwhelming main event that had to follow Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. And going back, WrestleMania 11, Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow, another match that should have been bigger considering the fact that you had a celebrity in there with Lawrence Taylor. But that match was just an acceptable, barely passable match on one of the worst WrestleMania cards of all time. So I think that there were worse matches out there than Miz versus Cena, but I mean Miz versus Cena is definitely up there among the biggest letdown main events in WrestleMania history. All right, this one comes from Joa Hack 13. Hey Aaron, how about this? Seth Rollins wins the briefcase ladder match and then goes on to cash it in on Roman Reigns after he wins the WWE World Championship. What are your thoughts and how likely is this to happen? Thanks. I think that it probably will not happen. I think that it doesn't make any sense with the direction WWE's going in, the basic direction that we know of. Obviously Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose is a feud that they're doing, and they're building up towards Roman Reigns versus Triple H. We saw on Raw where Stephanie talked about how Roman Reigns, they didn't want him in that battle royal, and they're bringing that up. That the Authority is trying to hold back Roman Reigns. So the obvious direction is Roman Reigns versus Triple H. So to have Seth cash it in on Roman Reigns, to me wouldn't make any sense with the way WWE is going in the storylines. And also, I think it's too much. I think that you don't want to have too many title changes and too many things happening. You're already going to have a new WWE champion crowned, and then you're going to have a Money in the Bank winner. I just think it would be overkill if they did that. All right, this one comes from CPW1978. Cheers, Aaron. Do you think Dean Ambrose has the potential mic and ring skills to match CM Punk or Steve Austin? The more I see him, the more he impresses me. How about you? Well, it's really hard to say at this point. I definitely think we have to wait and see how Dean Ambrose progresses as a character, and obviously his mic skills are above average. Steve Austin didn't become Stone Cold Steve Austin in one day. It took years of not just improving on the mic in general, but developing the character. And you really have to feel the character to be able to go all out with it and really make a memorable promo and just a memorable character. All these things, it takes time. So with Dean Ambrose, I think that we'll see where things go with his character. He's kind of got the Joker / Brian Pillman / Crazy Man gimmick that he's developing here. So we'll see where it goes in the coming months. But definitely mechanically, technically, he's really good. So he definitely has a lot of potential. All right, this one comes from Imperial 90. Hey Aaron, what is Rey Mysterio's status with WWE? Could you see him retiring soon, or will he get another big push? Well, I think what's going to happen with Rey Mysterio is, WWE has decided to extend his contract because he was injured for a long period of time, and they want to keep him around. I think the idea is that he will be a goodwill ambassador for WWE. Obviously they want to continue to draw in the Latin American market, and Rey Mysterio has value there, so they can use him for promotional work in Mexico and South America, any Spanish-speaking country. WWE can get value out of Rey Mysterio. So, they want to keep him around as a legend. I don't see him getting another big push. Just the fact that he's gotten injured so much, and at his age, I don't think they're going to invest that much in him again. But, having him wrestle every now and then, maybe having short runs like RVD, that sort of thing, I could definitely see him wrestling more, but not as much as he was in the past, and certainly not up there at a main event level. All right, this one comes from Shade Hedgehog. What would you say was Jeff Hardy's best match as a main eventer where he won? This was actually a good question because it took me a while to think of a match because all of Jeff Hardy's top matches he lost. He lost all those ladder matches when he teamed with Matt against Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys. He lost that match with The Undertaker, where Undertaker gave him the respect afterwards. He lost the match with Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble in 2008. I did come up with one match, and that was Jeff Hardy versus Edge at Extreme Rules 2009, a ladder match. Jeff Hardy defeated Edge in that match. It was a world title match, and then CM Punk cashed in Money in the Bank on Jeff Hardy after the match. But, you know, for Jeff Hardy and Edge, Hardy won that match, so I'll go with that one. All right, one more question here from Jacques S. Paul. What is your pick to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015? Well, I don't know if you're asking for my personal opinion or who do I think will be in, but if it's my pick, if I'm choosing, I'd love to see Sting go into the Hall of Fame next year. Randy Savage, long overdue. Owen Hart. You know, The Rock would be really cool to go in next year, and he's a very serious contender at this point. You know, it seems like that's a bit much having all four of those guys going in 1 year, but any combination of those guys, really, I want to see Savage in. So as long as Savage goes in next year, I would be a happy camper. You know, Owen Hart would be cool, but I don't see two deceased wrestlers going in at the same time. So, you know, for next year, I'd go with Randy Savage and either Sting or The Rock. Maybe all three. I mean, that's certainly a possibility since, you know, maybe WWE will want to have a WWE headliner like The Rock, and since Sting wasn't ever in WWE, you know, they don't want to have him be the headliner. So you can have The Rock as the WWE headliner, you can have Sting as the WCW legend, and then Randy Savage as the deceased legend going into the Hall of Fame. That would be awesome with those three guys on top. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Money in the Bank. And I will see you guys next time for more.